In this tutorial, we're going to introduce a very simple app, which is to get the information from the web API and show the information to the app. So we're going to use the Open Weather Map API. So let's look at what the API gives us. So let's click it here. So as we can see, it returns a JSON structure, and we're gonna extract the name of the city and the temperature of the city. Okay, so let's begin. So open the Xcode, create a new Xcode project. We choose single view application to start with, and the product name would be weather demo. Make sure that language is Swift and the device the iPhone, and we're not gonna use core data in this tutorial. So next, create this. So as we can see, we have the template here. So we're gonna work on view controller and storyboard here. So first, we're gonna design our view. Go to the object library here to search for a text field first. So we're gonna see that this text field is here. We're gonna change some attribute of it, like the border style. So with this one, we can enter city name. So the next step is to have a button. So with this button, after we enter the city name, we can click the button to trigger some actions, which is to trigger the getting data process. And we need a label to show more information. Okay, this label is gonna show the name of the city, but for the initial state, we're gonna let the label show the loading before the data comes in. Another label to show the temperature. So loading as well, and we're gonna drag them here to the center, everything. Make sure that everything is to the center. So let's run this app to see what happens. Okay, as we can see, the objects are here, but we cannot do anything to them. And also the layout is a little bit messed up, so we're gonna fix it. So in this document view, we can see all the objects we just created here on this view controller, and we're gonna select them all. Select them all like this view together with this 4 components. No, we're gonna only select this 4. So add missing constraints and run this application again. Yeah, we can see the text field is somehow stretched, but we can just fix it. But the position of the 4 objects are okay now. But I'm not gonna spend time on fixing this layout. We're just standing with it. And next is to make sure that this view controller has associated with some class, with some controller class. We can click this to see the custom class. We can see that it is already associated with the view controller.swift class, so that we can write the code that is related to this view. So let's open this assistant editor and right-click, drag the text field to the code. Okay, so let's call it city name text field, in which we are gonna enter the city name to begin, and get data, because this is an action. So we're gonna use an action here and get data button complete. So as we can see, it creates a function here that we can add in some business logic. So loading, right click, drag. We're gonna call it city name label. The next would be city temperature label. Okay, so we are done with this assistant editor. Let's go back to the basic one and concentrate on the coding part. So first we're gonna create a function which is called get weather data. We're gonna pass in the URL as string. Another function to modify the UI, which is called set text field, set label, set labels. So with some data, so we're gonna give it weather data variable as parameter, as accrued NS data type. So we can see that there's a view deload. This function will be called when the view is constructed, and after that we're gonna definitely make the get weather data call to populate the data to our view, which is to give some value to the two labels. So as we can see, we have to pass in the URL string. We're going to use this to start with to get the weather data from this API about London City. So let's go into this function. First, let's create a URL object. So let's create a constant called URL, which is a URL NSURL object from the string. And next, we're gonna create a task to get this data with this URL. So NSURLSession shared session data task with URL. So we're not gonna use this form. We're gonna use another kind of callback form. If you are very familiar with JavaScript, this will be very easy for you to understand. And URL, and this is the parameter, and we're gonna have some return values, which is data first that we cared about, and response, and also error if something wrong happens in this closure. So as we can see, the task is running background in a thread, but we're in this closure we're gonna call the set labels, which is to modify the contents of the UI, which has to be done in the main thread. So we have to get back the main thread and do the set label task here. So we're gonna use this function to implement this patch async, because this HTTP request is asynchronous. So we're gonna get back this man queue back. So patch man get man, yeah. So can use this get man queue, and this is a code block. So in here we can call it set label now. So set label weather data would be the data here, returned from this HTTP request. So we're gonna go into the set labels. As we know that this request returns the JSON structure, so we're gonna create a JSON object to store this structure and parse it. So we are first gonna define an error that we will need it to be some parameters of the next object that we are gonna create. So that we created a constant called JSON. This is a JSON object, NSURLSession .json object with data. So the data would be weather data, obviously. Option, we don't want to add anything here, we just give it new. And the NS error pointer would be a JSON error. And this is a pointer, so we need to add an and mark. So it will, as we can see, this JSON is returned as a structure that could be parsed into NS dictionary, which is a key value structure. Okay, so let's add a optional thing here. So next we're gonna parse this JSON object and extract the information that we need here. So let's name equals JSON. So the E-flat grammar, like our syntax in Swift, is very handy. So it basically confirms that we can get the value, like JSON name value, and if we can get it, we will set the name parameter as this value. If we cannot get this value, the if would be false. So the logic in if will not be executed. So we're gonna here first get the name of city and set the city name label .text with this name variable. And we're gonna care about the next one, which is the temperature. So we're gonna have to get the main section out of the JSON. So so we're gonna have as an NS dictionary, because this is not the bottom level of the JSON. We're gonna still have a dictionary. And in this main section, we are gonna parse it. We're gonna extract the temperature information of it. So main temperature temp here, and s double. So if we get the temperature information, we can populate this information to our text field. So it's just let's copy this part. Label text equals, we're gonna do a casting from double to string in order to be shown on the label. To format, we're gonna define the format as %mark 0.1 float. We're gonna have one digit after the point. So temp. No, so we don't need this parentheses. Arguments. Get rid of it. Okay. So I think we are done for this stage. Let's run this app to see what happens. Oh, as we can see, we still cannot get the data correctly because of this. So we create a task here, but the task initially is at a suspension state. So we're gonna start it. resume to execute this task, and let's run it again. Okay, as we can see, we can successfully get the JSON back and extract the information of the city name and the temperature in Kelvin. We don't care about this for now. Or we can add something here to make this Celsius or something, like add 273 or 75, I forget about the conversion, but whatever. So the next step is to enable this text field function so that we can enter city name and get the temperature of the city. So to start with, we are still gonna call this get weather data with the parameter, which is the same with this one, but the variable here would be the city name. So we set the variable / open parentheses, close parentheses, and we're gonna get this city name text field dot text to get the city name that we just entered. Okay, so let's run this app again. Okay, this is not like a text field, it's like a square or something, but we will stand with that. Like, it doesn't matter. So we're gonna try Toronto, get data. Okay, so we get the temperature of Toronto, and we can see Ottawa. These are very cold cities. Okay, Vancouver. Okay, so this is our application here, and this is done. So that's it for our tutorial, and in the next future tutorials, I'm gonna introduce some more details about the JSON parser and also the HTTP request kit. In specific, we're gonna introduce some third-party, very convenient and handy third-party HTTP request library and also JSON parse library. Okay, so thank you.